We're back for the second half of Factz Ova Feelingz for your Tuesday night. I'm your man, Grandmasterjay, and before we get started, we got to take care of some housekeeping. We have to take care of some housekeeping because there are those people out there who just cannot get past, they can't get past their fear. They can't get past the fear that we're going to pay them back for what they've done to us. And even though they can walk around and try to smile like it's okay, and even though they act like they didn't have nothing to do with the sins of the father, that they're afraid. So they will resort to outright lying if they have to try to get their way. What I'm talking about, my people, is it was brought to my attention that some scared white folks have gone to the governor of Georgia to demand that I be arrested and that a warrant be issued because I exercise my constitutional rights. They believe that what I did was so wrong when they do it every day. This is what I mean about racism in your face. It's okay for them to do the things they do and for us to sit back and just be witnesses. But when we do it, oh, it's a federal crime. You must do something. It's their way of saying, nigga, how dare you? That's what they're saying. And the real scary part about it is they don't seem to understand. You keep poking the bear, eventually the bear will attack you. And now that the bear is in the position to attack you, they're scared. And I know they're scared. So, you know, as I would say to Governor Abbott and all the others who can buy into that bullshit if you want to, I had no time threatened any of you motherfuckers. I told you I'm going to defend my people. You threatened us. Let's not forget how this whole thing got started. You threatened all of us. You said you were going to shoot black people on the 4th of July. You didn't give a specific location. You said all black people. You even had police running around talking about, I can't wait to start killing black folks. So don't play victim to the circumstances you created. We are going to defend ourselves. And I'll say it publicly here. Arresting me or doing anything to me would unleash the war that you don't want. So go ahead and go ahead and roll up in your whiteness and come after me and watch all my brothers and sisters show you that we're not just walking around on parade. This ain't niggas on parade. And you let them white boys pump you up to do something stupid when we didn't break any laws. None whatsoever. If you're going to have the Constitution, either the Constitution going to be for everybody or the Constitution ain't going to be for nobody. And a land without a Constitution is a land at war. And y'all keep letting these white boys, these little scared white boys pump you up because black folks exercise their constitutional rights. And you white folks out there, you better talk to your people. You better talk to them. We're not like they were in the 60s. Now, I'm coming in Factz Ova Feelingz, let you know right off the bat. We're not playing that shit at all. It's a chess game. You make that move, we already got a few other moves in place. And if you think it's crazy now, 2020 should have taught you anything. That this year is unpredictable and nobody knows what's coming around the corner. It's unfolding by the day. It's unfolding by the minute. So play that 1966 shit with us if you want to. You started this. We just stepped up to say, you gonna threaten us? Then it's only intelligent for us to prepare to defend ourselves. Now y'all gonna find out that the world y'all live in is not what you seen. You see, we have friends and then we have enemies. I give praise to the Most High because we have friends and we have enemies. You know, if you go to any of the older books, matter of fact, I think if I go to the book of precepts again, morals and precepts, somewhere around chapter 18, it talks about friends and enemies. This is before any of you all existed. It is before this civilization. They already talked about who our friends are and who are enemies. And it says, and I quote, if you remember, it says, the only real enemy any man has is the man he does not understand. And the only man to really fear is the one who is afraid. So you shouldn't be afraid of me because I'm not afraid. You may not understand me, and that's probably what scares you. You can never be me, so that terrifies you, and you could never beat me. So I will say this publicly. You're not putting me in a cage. Period. And I mean that. And you take that forever for whatever it's worth. I'm not going in no motherfucking cage. Now show up if you want to. And I said that publicly. Make sure you pass that on. It says the man who seeks a friend without faults, one without weakness and failings, will never have a friend. And he who declares his enemy to be wholly evil is a liar. A man may be poor in worldly possessions, but rich in friendship. But true wealth is not the accumulation of lifelong things, but the possession of a firm friendship. The greatness of a man may be assessed according to his friends, but it may be measured even better according to who are his enemies. Listen to what they just said. The greatness of a man is determined according not to his friends, but by who were his enemies. If your enemies are the people around the corner, then you're a pretty important person. But if your enemies are kings, queens, governors, then apparently you had to be a great person to them, because they don't fear just anybody. So y'all go keep running to your governors, keep running to your senators, keep running to your leaders and telling them about me and that I am to be feared. Then that must mean that I'm greater than anything you've ever seen. And everything that I represent is greater than anything you ever seen. No weapon formed against us. I heard that somewhere. In the book, it says the nature of a man is such that while it is always tends to resist force and compulsion, it will always yield to gentleness and persuasion. What they're saying is, if you come hard, it's not going to go well for you, but you can always sit down and talk to somebody. You can always sit down and say, listen, man, let's have a meeting of the minds. You understand what I'm saying? But if you want to come with the rah-rah, they already tell you that it's not exactly going to work out for none of the parties involved. Understand what I'm saying? It says, yet wounds inflicted at the hands of a friend are more to be desired than the hypocritical embraces of an enemy. Isn't that deep? I'd rather my friend stab me in the back and I know he did it than for somebody who hugs me and tells me I'm all right with you and I love what you're doing and I feel what you're doing. But, and here we are in a time when the masses control the situation. It wasn't the leadership that got in the streets and started rioting behind George Floyd. It wasn't the president and the Congress and all of them that got out and was protesting when they was doing all the world. It was the people who exercised the one power that y'all, the one power that y'all got that they afraid of? Y'all got the power to say, we're not obeying y'all no more. Laws only work when you obey them. People only have authority when you give them that authority. People only obey the law when they choose to obey the law. And if everybody decided at the same time that they wasn't going to do this shit no more, what would they going to do? I'm just asking a question. Y'all ain't got to listen to me. I'm just telling you, Let me get back to my other housekeeping note. Y'all know how we do. This is how, and if you're new, here it comes. You about to find out. I know who keeps up with us and who doesn't. I know who are my true followers and who are not. I know how many of y'all are just here because you're scared. Y'all scared to death. You think I got 80,000 followers of people who are just here for the word of y'all? No, most of y'all are scared because something is happening over here that you're not a part of, and you know you're going to get left behind, and it probably affects you too, or you got something to do with why it's happening. So that's why you're going to slid your ass up in here. But you should have asked somebody before you came. See, we do mass on, mass off. Mass on means that we don't throw our rags up. I told y'all before we went to Georgia, mass up, everybody. Let's get these logos up, and everybody threw up the NFAC logo. You see it everywhere now. But see, I know a lot of y'all like to sneak in. I've done this before, so you have to keep up with the general. So when I say mask off, that means that everyone who is an actual member of NFAC will pull down their profile and we know who everybody is. And all of y'all that are snuck up in here, you little white racists, all you hating ass black folks that are snuck up in here, all y'all who got ulterior motives, all y'all think that y'all, I'm going to tell you the truth, I laughed my ass off. I saw somebody today that thought they was giving an intel report to the internet and all you base that on is what you see online. You don't know shit about us. That's not intel. That's what it is. Free information, you clowns. Y'all don't know nothing about us, so stop pretending like you do. Stop running around making fake pages with my name on it. I'm not going to ever get a blue check because I'm too real for a blue check. I'm not looking for a blue check. So if you decide to go out and imitate me, you go ahead and do that. They say it's the most sincere form of flattery, but you can't speak for me. You can't talk like me. You can't learn like me. You can't teach like me. You're not connected to the creator like me. You don't have the fire of the ancestors like me. You don't have the insight, nor can you critically think like me. You can't multitask. People know when it's a fake. People know that Jay didn't say that. Jay don't think like that. Second of all, if anything really bothered me, you know I'm the pull-up master. I tell you to come on, see me. Let's talk about it. I don't want nothing between us but air. I don't need no guns. I don't need none of that. See, this is my weapon right here. All this is my weapon. I'm old school. I'm old school. If I pull a gun on you, I'm going to tell somebody to hold it on you while I whip your ass. And then we'll be boys after that if you that man. But if not, that's the end of it for you. So please, y'all stop all this silliness. Friends and enemies. It's friends and your enemies. You know, the book says that genuine friendship between man and woman is said to be impossible. But this is the talk of weak characters who many burden the world. Oh, I got to stop right there. Listen what they just said. We're talking about friends and enemies, y'all. I've seen a lot of people that said, I saw you got women out there. And if you look at the sisters in the eyes, they're determined. They're focused because we are beyond that myth that we can't get along. We're beyond. See, we've achieved that kumbaya that, look, we know where the enemy is. We are united in our goal. So that's why everybody is focused and on code. And we move and we have our being as one. And a lot of y'all have bought into this idea that you can't have a friendship between a man and a woman. They said that's impossible because too many things can happen. But it's written right here in the book of gold, the book of life. It says, but this is the talk of weak characters. And we talked about what a weakling is before. Weak people say that. You see, people always want to accuse you of what they would do if they were in your situation. So it goes on further to say that when the relationship of love between man and woman is hallowed, it should be elevated far above regular relationships. Between the two, there will be a place for the friendship. Man, that is so deep. I got to teach right there. Listen, if you're really in your relationship, and I'm going to do some little counseling because I got to give you all this. If you in your relationship now, I can be friends with the sister. And there's a lot of sisters in the NFAC that know we friends. We like brothers and sisters. Ain't nothing sexual there. We backed by blood. We don't even think like that. We focus on the Most High. And we know that we got a common goal. And we know we got a common enemy. We family. All honor to my man, Delta Django. But we family. All family, all of us. But what it's teaching here, it says that when you're in love with each other, truly in love, and if you don't know the 5 types of love, go learn. But when you're truly in love with each other, that when your love will make a space for your friendship. So you have a friendship that is bubble wrapped by love. So it's still friends. I used to always tell people before you date somebody, become their friend. Why? Because if the dating doesn't work out, you can always fall back on your friendship. But a lot of us, we don't do that. We go straight to relationship. Shit don't work out. Now everybody's a bitter enemy. And enemies are not born. Enemies are created. Yes. So that's what they're trying to teach us right now. Friends and enemies. So as a race, who's our friend? Matter of fact, as a race, who loves us enough that they're our friend? Nobody. You have no friends. Stop lying to yourself. And I'm sorry, I got to call bullshit. I'm sorry, this just popped in my head. Thank you, y'all. Y'all know we talked about the situation in Indiana where we thought that we had the boy on videotape supposedly getting lynched, okay? Y'all already know everything that was wrong with that picture. You out in the middle of the goddamn woods. You the only black dude. You out there with a Karen. And then some drunk rednecks saw you and they came and they like, you know, they try, and the whole 9 yards. You shouldn't have been there. Now I see this bullshit ass article that comes out talking about activist talks about how he was nearly lynched. Bruh, if you're an activist, then we need to take your card. Because activists ain't hanging out in the woods as the only black person with a whole bunch of white folks in country-ass Indiana. You got to be the most lost. So, yes, I said it. Ain't no sympathy for this motherfucker. What you doing out there? Then you got a nerve to call yourself an activist? You're an activist for what? You see what I'm saying? They push stories like that. They baiting y'all so easy with dumb shit, but they're ignoring important things like Breonna Taylor. Don't nobody want to talk about it? Y'all think that y'all just going to be quiet and it's just going to go away, huh? Okay. That's interesting. Why you think they're not talking about Breonna? I'll spend a couple of minutes on Miss Taylor. It's very, very simple. It's nothing that's too complicated. As a matter of fact, I can break it down to you very easily. It's because she's a black woman. Period. It's because she's black, strike one, and she's a woman, strike two. That's why. And that's why they just can't bring their country ass self to do nothing about accidentally killing a black woman. They're not about to put any white man in jail that they felt was doing his job, no matter how fucked up it was, for killing a black woman. All you sisters running around talking about this Me Too bullshit and trying to get on board a platform that was created for white women to try to be equal to their own men, like we oppress y'all. Y'all finding out now they don't give a shit about you. Breonna Taylor should be a wake-up call to everybody. Black woman. That's why. I bet if she was a white woman and some shit like that happened, oh, it'd be visuals and shit. People be on TV making speeches and shit. They be reading shit on the floor of the Kentucky legislature. We'd be having everybody pause for a moment, change your profile to breathe. Not for Breonna Taylor. So y'all want to focus on something, focus on that. That was one of the things we found out coming out the quarantine. Forget all this other stuff that happened. We got to deal with that. Still ain't been dealt with yet. Why? Because sisters, no one is going to respect you, no matter what you do, school, money, or anything, until those other races see the black man respect you. When the black man starts respecting you, then they will respect you. It ain't even about you respecting yourself because you are what you are. But when the brothers start respecting you, then they'll be like, well, we can't mess with them no more because we got to deal with the bros. Y'all saw the video. I said it very clearly. I love my queens for being out there, but I told every brother out there, you should make it your mission to be prepared to take a bullet for one of these sisters. The sisters need to be the last ones shooting. We got to fix this, family. And we got to fix it soon. But why do we do these things? Why is it always easier for us to assume the negative? In the book of Morals and Precepts, there in chapter 19, it talks about the tendency toward evil. It says that everyone to be born is tested in a mortal world, has a tendency toward things which are evil rather than toward things that are good. Pick up on what I told you before. It says everyone that is born to be tested. He just told you what your purpose is. You was put here to be tested. This is all a test. You being tested. I'm being tested. We're all being tested. It's a classroom. It says right here, everyone born to be tested in a mortal world has a tendency toward things which are evil rather than toward things that are good. Notice he said a mortal world, not a spiritual world. They put you here with all these temptations inside of this body so that you can be tempted, so you can be tested. Not the testing of your physical, the testing of your spiritual. What is at the core of your soul? Are you black-hearted? Are you really that black-hearted? Okay, then that's the test score you get. Don't be black-hearted and then talk about salvation in the end. It doesn't work that way. You can't flunk the test all the way to the end. And then let me, hold on. I got to teach again. Here it comes. With Factz Ova Feelingz? Okay. Here it comes. You cannot live your life any way you want, disobedient and being black-hearted, and then believe that on your deathbed, because you say some words, that all of a sudden the Creator is going to change his mind about what he already put in the book about where the hell you're supposed to end up. It don't work that way. You know who told you that? The Roman Catholics did. You know who told you that? The white people did, who rewrote your religion. Because they know they raising hell all the way out the door. So they done told you, it's okay as long as you know on your deathbed. If that was the case, we would never have to, oh God, this so totally destroys church theology. If that was true, then there'd be no need to get saved. If that was true, there'd be no need to sit in the church and have someone continually tell you what to do. You just can live any way you want. Just remember. Okay, let me help y'all out. I went to the Bahamas. I was in the Bahamas. And I went to Nassau. Loved the place, loved the people, all down in Beantown, had a ball. But one of the things that I noticed when I came into the Bahamas was that when I came in and they checked my passport, they gave me this ticket. And I was like, well, what's the ticket for? And the guy said, make sure you have this ticket when you leave. Because if you don't have this ticket, you can't leave the country. So I'm thinking, okay, I guess it's a passport on top of a passport. Put it in my pocket, no problem. When it was time for me to leave the Bahamas, one of my boys told me, did you have a good time? I said, yeah. You got $15? I'm like, why? He said, because you need to